Hello, Tidicians! Welcome back to Tagum Doctors College. And this is again Teacher Anna, your learning partner. Now, let's have our next lesson. So, in the previous weeks, we have learned about Unit 3. We have the concepts, professionals, and practices in communication. So, we also have learned Unit 2, which is about social work. Now, let's go to communication. So, sino ditong gusto maging newscaster or maging video editor, uh, mass media personnel, maging video maker, or blogger, or radio announcer? So, most likely, dito nakapaloob siya sa ating concepts of professionals and practices in communication. So, let's go, guys, and let's learn more about this topic. So, today, guys, we are going to define communication and identify its goals. And we are also going to discuss the principles and values in communication and then identify the basic element of the communication process. Okay, let's try to know about communication and its goals, discuss the principles and values in communication. Okay, so let's have the next one. So let's try to know more about communication. So actually guys, communication plays a major role in our lives. It helps us to relate to others and solve problems. It can also improve the way we see ourselves and the way others see us. So finally guys, communication can make life more exciting and help us succeed professionally. So this chapter, guys, introduces the discipline of communication. It also discusses the nature and functions of communication and the vital elements for communication to take place. It also tackles how communication may vary according to different models and levels of context. So, ito talaga siya major rule, especially if you want to be a professional. So you need to have a very good communication because this one is it plays a vital or major role in our lives, guys, and it also relate to others, and in this way we can solve problems. It can also improve the way we see ourselves and the way others see us. So meaning guys, so kung paano ka makig-communicate, mao na siya ang mopakita kung unsa ka or kung kinsa ka. At the same time, kana pong the way ka mo communicate sa laing tao, mao po na siya ang mapakita kung unsaon ta ah, pagbutang og meaning sa ubang tao. Or makita mo, ingon ka sa iyaha nga, oh, he is a very good listener because he really gets what I said, or he really comprehend kung unsa ako ang ginastorya, or he or she is a very good communicator kasi even without spell, even without copies, he or she can communicate well. And then it also that's why communication and English has a very broad subject. Daghang kay tag subject in elementary, secondary, or junior high school, and then in the senior high school, which talks about communication. Kasi ito din yung nagde-develop sa atin professionally. So if you know how to communicate well, you can reason out well. You can give action that is reasonable. You can really get what you really want to know, and then you can really achieve and then implement or even show to other people kung sa to imuhang gusto nga bag-uhon. So communication is the process of transferring information and understanding from one person to another. So dahil daw sa communication guys, natuto tayo or nagkaroon tayo ng understanding, and we also get differentiated information. That is according to Newsstrom 2007. Now let's go to the next one. So through communication pod, good communication, we need to have a understanding. So kinanglan nato mag sinabtanay or dapat magkasinabtanay ta. So it requires perceiving and comprehending the meaning of verbal and non-verbal behavior. So kung kani ang ako ipakita sa imuha, mao ba ni siya ang letter A nga answer sa imuhang exam? So just like that. So in communication, one, also make sure that the receiver understand his or her message as intended. So pinaka-importante po na siya kaya guys, because you need to really understand what the other person is implying. So that's why kanang naay assessment para mahibalaan sa mga maestra kung nasabtan ba ang ano ang lesson. So there is a recitation so that we will know if you really understand and comprehend well the meaning of the discussion. So, makitaan po na siya sa imuhang verbal and non-verbal behavior. If you really understand what is happening and what did you learn from the class and even from differentiated class, just like this online class. So, we also have the next one, which is sharing. So sharing, guys, is an interaction between people to exchange meaning with each other. Like for example, guys, you have think, pair, share. So meaning you will communicate to each other and then you will exchange ideas, just like in the picture. So your idea may be incomplete or kanang nasubraan ra or over lang siya. With the ideas of the others, murag makakompleto mo og different pictures. So like the pictures, like for example, kung atoan ni siyang i-puzzle, guys, so maybe the puzzle is in the other person and the other puzzle is in the another person. That's why sharing is also a very good interaction para maka-exchange ta og meaning in a certain idea. Now, let's go to the words. So words also, guys, are very important in communication. So this is the main communication symbol. So mao ni siya ang ato ang communication symbol. So karon we have the letters or the alphabet. While in the old age, we have the gestures, kanang pa-smoke, pag-drawing sa mga butang. So that are the words, and even the sign language or pag-mimic sa mga sounds sa kanang mga butang. So that is what we called words. So now let's go to action. So yung gawa. So most likely, di ba, usahay, lahi lagi ang iyahang action kaysa sa iyahang ginastorya. So sometimes there are also different words that we say it in different meanings, but kani day ato ang gusto nga ipa-abot. So for in action, guys, so nakita mo sa gawa nga suko siya niya, sige iyang ginaingon nga wala ko na suko. So in action, we can also communicate through action. So the third communication symbol, also known as nonverbal communication. So basin pag wala siya nagastorya tungod sa iyang lihok, makaingon ka, nasuko siya. For instance, a smile, smile siya, meaning happy siya, or wala siya nasuko sa imuha, or maybe a tap on the shoulder. So meaning ana kanang kuan, you can do it, tap on the shoulder. And then abstention for election, like di ka gusto og samok, samok na kayo ang election, so nag-abstinence na lang ka. And then and a handshake, all have meaning. So there are handshake na gina-welcome nimo ang isa ka tao, or in other nations too, a handshake means say hi or you greeted a person. So it has different meanings. So all of it have different meanings. Even kana mag-uyab, mag-asawa, or mag-best friends, they have their own action or non-verbal communication nga sila lang pod ang nakabalo. Like kumikidhat ang isa, kumukidhat po ng isa, meaning they are going to do something just like that. That is for action. So that is also part of the communication. Next is the communication as a discipline. So isa talagang discipline ang communication, guys. It is because it is an academic discipline and applied social science. So applied social science, guys, it is a discipline because it composes or founded in the principles of Barker and Gott 2002. So let's try to know about this one. So according to the scholars, guys, they agree that communication is founded on the following principles. That is according to Barker and Gott 2002. So communication is action. So meaning we can communicate also through action. So sa gawa mo or sa kilos mo makikita kung anong gusto niya ipahayag. So we also have communication is necessary for survival. So because of the human's ability to reason, so they can survive through communication. So we also have communication is needed to satisfy our needs. Like for example, gigutom ka, ya di ka kabalo mo storya nga gigutom ka. So, communication is very important para ma-satisfy ang ato ang needs. So, for example, Mom, I'm hungry. So, your mom will know that you are hungry because you have communicated to him or her. Or nag-communicate kasi mo maestra, Ma'am, lisod ka ayon ni. So, through that, mahibalaan sa mo maestra, nalisodan na dahil sila. So, dapat mas i-explain ako ni siya nga topic. Just like that. Next is altering other people's behavior can help us survive. So, po yung mga instances na kinanglan mo baguhon um, ang perspective sa isa ka tao para mabuhi ka or so that you can survive. Like for example, kanang bitayuno na ka, kanapasanginlan ka nga mo, ikaw ang nipatay sa tao or ikaw ang nakapatay ani. So that's why in that ability to alter, like imuha siyang baguhon niya imong perspective sa imo or baguhon niya imong pagtanaw sa imuha nga dili ka mamamatay tao. So in that way you can survive your reasoning skills and then your behavior, and daghan po mga tao makaingon nga dili man na siya inana. So ma-change nimo or mabago nimo ang iyahang pananaw sa imuha. So through that you can survive. We also have communication is driven by goals. So we have our differentiated nga mitiin. We have our differentiated goals. So through that, so like for example, you will communicate well to your parents na kinahanglan ako mo inanima because I want to be a lawyer or I want to be a doctor, or I need your support so that I will reach my goals, or even in differentiated things. Like for example, you want a scholarship from the president or you want a scholarship from differentiated people. We also have communicators mutually influence one another. So, ang nindot po siya, guys, because a good communicator, sila yung kanang naa sila influence from one another. So meaning your parents have an influence for you through advices. So your teachers have influence for you through advices and lectures. Undifferentiated people have an influence for you through communication. So, basing advices, lectures, experiences, and many other forms, they can influence one another or it can influence us. We also have communication system are structured. Tungod sa communication system, it is also structured. Meron siyang balangkas o meron siyang struktura na sinusunod. So just like the alphabet letters, we have the grammar. So daghan og ginasunod ang communication. That's why it is structured. And communication system are subject to change. So sa unang panahon, guys, we doesn't have it doesn't communicate with letters in English. So, karon lang ni siya nga ni-improve og ni ni nindot na ang ato ang communication system through the use of American alphabet, through the use of differentiated pictures. So sa una kay mga aso, ang ilahang kuan ipadala or kanang communication form of communication nila is through action, through drawing, through sulat, inana siya guys. So inana ang communication sa una, but now hinahinay siya nga na change until it becomes like this, like naging complex na siya, complex English, complex Tagalog, just like that. So that's why makaingon jud ta nga the constant in this world is change. So maybe what is applicable in the past is not applicable in the future. Or maybe what is applicable in the past is not applicable now in the present. Now, let's have the next one. So let's go to the elements of communication. So the basic elements of communication guys, so mao ni siya ang mga butang nga dapat naa para ma-transmit or na mahitabo ang communication. First is people. So because we are the highest form of mammal because we can reason out, that's why we are the basic part of communication. We also have the message. So kung unsa to ang mensahe na imong gusto nga ipaabot, ang feedback na imong gusto ipaabot, o unsa pod nga channel, like for example, is it face to face? Is it through online meeting? Is it through meeting face to face, or is it through codes like XYZ, unsa na siya nga meaning ana, or is it through encoding, or is it through decoding and noise? O mao ni siya ang basic elements of communication. So dapat na itao kita, dapat na mensahe, dapat na feedback, dapat na channels, dapat na codes, or dapat na encoding and decoding and noise. Now, let's have the next one. So, there are three models of communication. So, we have the linear model. So, unsa ning linear model? So, focuses on the source, influence on the receiver. So, diretso lang siya. So, gikan sa source, paingon sa receiver. Next, the circular on the interaction-based model. So, unsa ni siya? Places importance and feedback. So, meaning, pag ingon niya, dapat na ay pabalik or going back nga arrow, or what we call feedback. So, mutual influence and fields of experience. So, most likely, na sila mutual influence. Like, for example, the doctor and the other doctor are communicating. So, that is a circular or interaction-based model kasi nag-interact sila. The other doctor is giving inputs or message, and the other doctor is also giving feedback. So, that is interaction-based model. And the last one is transactional model. So transactional model, guys, it recognizes the communicators as both speakers and listeners. So meaning, silang duha. So if this is person A, and then we have here person B, they are communicating. So it means they are both what we call transactional model. So, kasi si A is also a speaker and a listener, si B is also a speaker and a listener. So that is what we call transactional model. Now, let's go to the context of communication. So, ano pala yung mga context ng communication? So, actually, there are a lot of field of communication, guys. So, first, ani is the intrapersonal communication, the interpersonal communication, the small group communication, the organizational communication, the intercultural communication, public communication, and mass communication. So what comes in your mind when you hear the word intrapersonal communication? So kung mayroon tag intrapersonal communication, guys, it means it is inside you. Okay? Just like self-talk, you are talking to yourself, you are communicating with your own self. Like, self, kaya pa ba? Kaya ni self. Kasi, dili ta dato pobrita so maningkamot ta self. Just like that. You're talking to yourself. We also have the interpersonal communication. So when we say interpersonal communication, it is an exchange of information between two or more people. Okay? So interpersonal, dili lang sa imong sarili, kundi you are exchanging information between two or more people. Like for example, a teacher to my students. So we are having an interpersonal communication kasi we are exchanging information from my lecture or my pre-recorded video to your comments, like the question, or is it the kanang questions, insights, learnings. So that is also what we call interpersonal communication. So kuan siya, naga-exchange ta og information. So either two or more people ang naga-exchange og information. So we also have small group communication. Ano sa small group communication, guys? So it is three or more people that is connected with common purpose. Like for example, group of mga carpenters. So na sila common purpose that is to know more about carpentry, or kanang mga group of doctors or group of lawyers. So they have a common purpose that is to know more about law, to know more about medicine. So that is also what we call small group communication. Now, we also have the organizational communication. So most likely guys, if you are employed in any other organization, dili gini siya mawala. So or study this one, or the organizational communication study. This is the study of communication within the organization. So sa sulod ni siya sa organisasyon, like for example, in a certain company, in a certain corporation. So na sila mga formal o informal nga communication. Like for example, the communication letter, the the faxes, or the kanang mga black and white na papers na naghahatag in information. Like for example, letter of apology, letter of announcement. So those are examples of organizational communication. So na ay formal na po informal na communication within the organization. Next is the intercultural communication. So what comes in your mind when you hear the word intercultural communication? So intercultural communication, guys, it is the verbal and non-verbal interaction between people from different cultural backgrounds. So that's why it is intercultural. Kasi ito yung communication or komunikasyon ng bawat isa na mayroong iba't ibang background. So na ay mga lahi-lahi nga background. Like for example, the conference of Muslims, or the dialogue of Muslims, Kristiyano, and in politician. So nasa lahi-lahi nga kultura or background. Now let's know more about the public communication. So when we say public communication, guys, it talks more about the public. Okay? So it is made identical form of multiple persons. So gibuhat ni siya para magkaroon taog identical form to multiple persons. So or to world at large, just like the television, the radio, the motion, the picture, the newspaper, the pamphlet, the mass mailing, the letterhead, the business card, or directory. So they are example of public communication. So gibuhat na siya para mahibalaan or ma-identify or ma-comprehend or makita sa kadaghanan sa public. While we also have the mass communication. Mass communication, guys, are the process of imparting and exchanging information through mass media to large segments of population. It is usually understood for relating to various forms of media, as these technologies are used for the dissemination of information of which journalism and advertising are part. So diri ta mas mo-focus guys diri sa mass communication. So mao ni siya ang process na siya nga naga-impart ta og information sa or pinaagi sa mass media. So for example sa YouTube channel, sa mga differentiated nga APP, Facebook, Messenger, QQ, uh, WeChat. So those are mass communication. So ang kalainan nila sa public communication is kuan siya from multiple person to to the world at large. Pero ang gamit niya is katong mga television, radio, motion, ano, uh, picture, newspaper. So, communication nagamit ang multiple nga tao through the world at large through sa gamit nga television, radyo, motion picture, newspaper, pamphlet, and the like. While ang mass communication guys kay process siya. Okay? Process of imparting and exchanging information just like atong sa pagbuhat sa uh, kuan sa news. So that is mass communication. Sa paggamit sa mga various technologies just like ano broadcasting, radio broadcasting, TV broadcasting, mm, journalism, o katong mga technologies like for example kanang mga kuan nato videographer, kanang mga cameraman. So they are part of the mass communication. Sila tong naga-impart o naga-process sa or naga-exchange sa information. Okay? Sila to ang naay dako nga parte sa public communication. So in public communication, maybe mass communication is a part of it, pero si mass communication is more specific through the imparting or the process of imparting and exchanging information. So that would be all, guys. So I hope you have learned a lot from our lesson today. Thank you so much for listening. Always remember to do your best and always remember to make your parents proud. So let's go now to your assessment. See you in a while. Bye, guys. Have a great day.